don't understand why people are so confused by this lonely male crashing and women choosing the bear and all that stuff. All you gotta do is read anything men say online about women. They really hate us. Sorry, that is out of tune. Really don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why they're so freaked out about the lonely male crisis and all the divorces, and men are like, why won't they marry us? And the declining birth rate. What is the mystery? What they did was let these dudes talk on the internet. And I'm sorry, it's not just these dudes, this is the podcast bros, okay? But you know, it's also these men. Prince Charming, right? The man who's like, I love my wife. And then you read what they say online. You soon find out they all are this waiting to happen, or they are really just a entitled king baby, which they are all on the king baby spectrum. And most of them are hobosexuals, gold diggers. But let's talk about how much men openly talk about how much they just can't stand their wives. And then we read this. We've been reading this for years. For years, they won't tell their wives, but they will tell the internet, and all of us are paying attention. Okay? You know how there's that tweet every time something happens to celebrities, and then people will say, so and so, Taylor Swift is not going to read your tweet, but all your friends who believe in flying private jets will. That's a terrible example because it's never has happened. But these men's wives may not read what they say about their wives openly with their first and last name. Their wives may never know what they are commenting under the New York Times, the Guardian, the Washington Post, in front of everybody with their literal profiles attached to these comments. Their wives may not see it, but I do. We're reading it. And these men, it's one thing when they say it on Reddit, because I don't know, maybe it's the same guy with 1 million accounts. But when they have their face and their first and last name, wow! It really starts to sink in, and it's sinking in after years of this crap that these men literally hate their wives. They are saying it. And we're reading it. And then everyone's like, why don't you want to get married? Before we get into it, I got to tell you, join my Patreon. Even if you can't afford a tier, I do post free stuff every once in a while, update you. But if you want to join my lives, if you want more personal content, if you want the big chat groups and community, go check it out, okay? That is what helps me have financial security so I can keep doing this. And it's fun. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh, and if you, please comment, tell me what you think, share, like, subscribe, all that crap. It really helps a lot. So, this was in The Guardian. All know I like to follow Dear Carolyn. And this is my What the Hell Mel column that responds to a column. Oh, I'm sorry, I woke you up. I don't usually do ones in The Guardian, but today we're going, my wife has put on weight and I'm no longer attracted to her. What should I do? I can't wait to read this. I'm in my early 50s. Oh, great. So you're probably worthless in bed. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm in my early 50s. I'm starting to find my wife not attractive anymore. Over the years, she has gradually put on weight to the point she now weighs more than me. HATEU already. But let's go on. I need more information. I'm 6 foot and normal weight for an athletic, active man. I bet you're athletic. Okay. What does that mean to you? Men always think that they are hotter than they are. More fit than they are. All that stuff. Also, if you are really fit, are you a marathon runner? Because I already covered you plenty. Anyway, I've got mixed, conflicted feelings about it. I'm on a physical basis. I don't like it. But now, she's now started walking with a different gait, and I find myself disgusted. Interesting choice of words, bro. And pitying her. Okay, I don't care how not physically attracted you are to somebody. Disgust because she put on weight means you have always hated her on some level. I don't care how much you just don't like how someone's aging. If you love them, you would not feel disgusted by them putting on weight. I also would love to hear, I know that I have been unpacking a lot of my own body image issues, and like fat phobia, all kinds of things. I have been taught, patriarchy taught me, that I gotta hate this body of mine, and that being part of being a woman is policing everything I do and how I look and how I present myself. And it is offensive to men to not be attractive in every way possible to them, in the way they deem attractive, which is oftentimes, or, you know, has been, and now it's changing, but it's also still very a white Eurocentric grew standard anyway. I know it has changed, and also there's appropriation and all kinds of things, but as somebody who grew up in the 90s with like Kate Moss and all them, you know, EDs were really, that was the way you go. I don't know, I don't talk about it much, but I was like for many years, many years, off and on, at least 15, off and on. But I'm not allowed to say that word online, so I don't talk about it much. Anyway, so I'm obviously going to miss something. I would love to hear your comment on, I love to learn from people who know more about issues that I haven't experienced exactly how they are. So please feel free to comment. This is, on a medical basis, oh, here we go. This is one thing I do, that men will, people do this a lot, from my understanding of some of the creators that I follow and what I have learned from them. People do this, but you know, men who feel entitled to women looking the way they think they should look use medical. I'm so medically concerned for you. It's usually not that at all. But this is what they hide it behind. On a medical basis, it can't be good long term. I have mentioned it in the past, oh, I'm sure you have, and asked her to make lifestyle changes. How much you want to bet he has body shamed her, made comments about her food? I mean, this was how my dad was. I grew up with this. And then he was like shocked that I had to go to a treatment center to deal with this. But I'm like, you literally policed my body, and still did after all that. He still loved to talk about what I'm eating, how much I weigh. Like, I know moms do this a lot, but dads do this too. You know, the most important man in your life as a child, it tells you that your body is not yours, and that also you're not lovable unless it looks the way he thinks it should. It's really hard to unlearn that message. This man is doing it, that same thing, but to his wife. And I'm sure he's saying lifestyle changes is maybe you should go to the gym. Those pants, you know, all those like things, whether they're outright mean or they're like this like side hook kind of mean, which lasts 3 to 4 weeks. It's making me feel resentful and not respected. Not respected. Bro, it's got nothing to do with you. The funny thing is, we know that when women are sick, women are need care, especially if they have like a chronic illness, men are 6 times more likely to leave them. We also know that when men are sick, because they haven't taken care of themselves, women are the ones who are going to take care of them. Men will leave us if he's already, like, that's what he wants to do. He wants to leave her. Right? But it's not because he doesn't want to take care of her, because he probably never would, never has. I also am curious if they are parents. Because when men do this, and women have literally risked dying to bring their children into the world, and their bodies are forever changed for bringing children into the world, and these men did nothing but in order to get, and then they have the audacity to do this. So like, this is even, I don't know if they're parents, but I'm assuming that they're not. But this is 100 times worse if she is also gave birth. And then he's like, why can't she look like she did when she was 25? But what does this have to do with him? Because we know that, I mean, it is really like this in the South, and among white people in the South. Those are the people I know very well. I don't know any other demographic to speak of. But if you know what I'm talking about, the men that I went to high school with look like crap. Most of them look like crap. And they all wear khakis and a polo shirt, and they haven't taken care of themselves, and they don't have to, and their wives look 20 years younger than them. Y'all know I tell you all the time, men keep telling us about some wall we're going to hit. They are the wall. They are what age us. But let's just take them out of the equation. Men age terribly. We age well, despite a lot of women going through like childbirth, still look so much better and younger than their husband. And let me tell you another thing. You're going to look 10 times better if you leave this man who negs you all the time. The glow up is real. I've experienced it from just a 9-month relationship. I looked haggard, and then I look so much younger now, and that was 10 years ago. The divorce glow up is real. But it's just so funny to me because men age terribly. Y'all are not going to look like George Clooney and Brad Pitt, who don't even look that amazing for their age anyway. And Brad Pitt I know I owe y'all a video on him, but the story keeps changing. Every time I'm like, now I'm ready to make that video. That man will never leave her alone. I'm coming for you, Brad. But anyway, I would even be willing to bet that she actually looks better than him. Because most of the time, women are aging so much better than men because they take care of themselves more. Unless these men are just so exhausting that the women have nothing left to give and take care of themselves, then maybe. But especially in places like where I'm from, where image management is so important, right? You gotta happy all the time. And you have to be looking good all the time, right? And then the men just are like, whatever, you know? They look like Shrek. And then they have these wives that look 20 years younger than them. Literally like Fiona and Shrek. That's how a lot of couples in the South look. Because men know that they can, and then the men still cheat on them. These women work so hard to be everything that man wants. They think that man will want to keep their man, and then he still cheats. Because it wasn't even about this to begin with. It's just about them just feeling entitled and not caring and having an attitude like, because it's still probably not enough. They want a younger woman, and anything you do is not respectful. I feel as if I shouldn't have to ask my wife to be a reasonable weight. I would love to know his idea of reasonable, by the way. Because men's idea of what women should look like, whatever. Oh my God, I can't. But I'm simultaneously avoiding the issue because I don't want to humiliate and upset her. Really? I find that hard to believe, mister. My guess is you've been negging this woman. How long y'all been together? You say? You don't say. I don't know your story, but you're in your 50s. And you're negging her and trying to get her to go to the gym so much that she tries to work on it to make you happy, and then is then doesn't, and then she just gives up according to you and disrespects you. You know what? Let me show you what men do to you. So many women, when you first meet a man, are like this. And then you marry them, and then you become this. I got a new doll, y'all. These cheap, old, used dolls, I get them. I'm having so much fun. This little lady, Sad Sally, she cost me $1. So I'm going to read what Eleanor said, but I really want to get to what the other men said on Facebook. Just in case you thought it was just this man. Eleanor says, I'm going to set aside your concerns about your wife's health, partly because, as I've written before, there's evidence people can be healthy regardless of their weight. Boom! Mainly, though, it sounds as though the way this matters to you isn't primarily to do with her health. I would argue it has at all. If it were, we should also be talking about her sleep habits. Boom. Stress levels and carcinogen intake. Okay. But yeah, I did hear nothing about it. It sounds like the way this matters to you is that you find her less attractive. Long-term monogamy asks us to find one person attractive instead of all the others and perpetuity. This is hard. We all change. as we age, and maintaining a marriage will, if we're lucky, mean we're still excluding all others when we're liver spotted and all out of college. Attraction shifts a lot of the intervening decades, and it's okay to struggle with those transitions. I'm going to add a few cents here, Eleanor. Please do not think that the chemistry is the most important thing. This man is literally, like a man, we know that men will fork animals, dead bodies. Like, they're not even allowed to work at morgues anymore. I did a whole deep dive on that, right? Men will grape anything. I shouldn't have said fork. I meant grape, right? I hate that I have to say that word, but them the rules on here. We know that they don't actually care about, like, they will literally, like, I remember when I worked in the film industry with a bunch of PAs, a bunch of men. This is before I worked up into the art department. I remember listening to them talk and how one of them was like, they were literally talking about how the last people that they had hooked up with would have been better if she'd had a bag over her head. They said that to each other and in front of me. I was older than all them, so you better believe I had some things to say. But they have no problem forking you when they hate you and they don't find you attractive. Or even if you're not alive. You don't have to be alive, right? So, I'm sorry. The number one thing when you are dating is this man my best friend? Because this dude who is disgusted by this woman because she gained weight. That's it. That's his only complaint, according to him, is that she gained weight. He's disgusted and feels disrespect. Do you know if she gets in a car accident today and is in the hospital, that man who's so disgusted by her and clearly hates her is the one who is going to be making all of her decisions about her health. When you are dating somebody and thinking of marriage, do you trust this man to check the right boxes and make the right decisions if you are unconscious in the hospital? Because I don't think a lot of women think of that. Like, not only could he, like, unalive you, outright steal all your money, because again, they're all homos who exploit labor on some level, all on the hobo spectrum. But this is the man who has power of attorney over this woman. It doesn't matter if her best friend is there. This man is the one who is going to decide all of her medical stuff, everything if she can't for herself. Don't stay with these men. Don't marry these men. But as soon as you realize they are disgusted by you, there is no love if someone is disgusted by you. And a lot of women are disgusted by their husbands, but a lot of that is based on the fact that they've been exploited by them and dismissed by them. They don't feel seen or heard. Not always. A lot of women are very toxic in their relationship. But a lot of women's disgust is based on being oppressed and exploited by men, and a lot of men's disgust is based on their selfishness, their entitlement, and their dehumanization of women and not seeing them as human beings that other than having a function for the man. Do you want a man like this with power of attorney? I don't, but I want to call your attention to the hostility you seem to express here. Exactly. You say you feel disgusted and not respected. It sounds like weight is wrapped up with a lot of moralized failures for you. Like your attitude, you attribute laziness to her, slovenliness, I don't know if I'm saying that right, disregard for how you experience her. This just isn't a good inference. People's weight changes for all kinds of reasons, especially as we age and our hormones change. Do you really think this man is going to take care of her if she gets sick? Let's take the hospital out of it. Let's just say she has, I don't know, hypermobility stuff that I have finally been realizing I have, or has some sort of thing. And do you think this man's going to take care of her? This man is out the door as soon as he realizes he's got to do anything. What if he can't even look at her? He doesn't like the way she walks because her gait has changed. Why does her weight make you feel this way rather than any other lifestyle changes or features of her appearance? Why is it her weight? Exactly. When I realized that all of my stuff around weight was about my issues, I mean, some of it's indoctrination, but so much of it came down to my own self-hatred. That's when the real change starts. So these men who are obsessed with this are usually self-hatred, entitlement, and anger when a woman doesn't feel like she needs to perform femininity for this man in whatever way it looks. Do you also feel you shouldn't have to ask her to maintain her hair, her clothes? What about sleep, which is also a huge predictor of long-term health and possibly day-to-day attractiveness too? What if she someday feels disgusted and disrespected by your graying hair? Your wrinkling skin, your loss of muscle, and you probably also can't get it up, bruh. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you don't eat that either, or even care about it. You probably don't even know what to do with it. You're probably a push her head down kind of guy, aren't you? It's one thing to struggle with finding your partner attractive. It's another to ascribe a failing to your partner in light of that, to feel content for her or like they are beneath you. It'll be vital for the viability of your marriage that you're able to separate these feelings. Honey, no, like he is there. I hope they divorce. There is no coming back from this. Like, Eleanor, come on. Do you know men? I know men. You think he's even reading this? He basically wanted you to be like, yeah, tell that work will lose some weight. But I hope for his wife's sake, this man leaves. I hope she leaves him, but I hope he leaves her, because this man will take years off her life and has probably negged her so much that she probably hates herself and doesn't even realize that she probably knows he hates her on some level. But maybe I hope she reads this and is like, oh my God. That's true even purely from the standpoint of self-rangers too. Nobody is a bigger freak in the sheets and more excited to invest in attractiveness than someone who thinks their partner worships them. Oh, Eleanor, this came out of nowhere. I was not expecting this. Okay, I like you. And nobody tries to hide their body away and recoils from touch more surely than someone who can smell their partner's content. Glamour, investment in yourself. These all require a degree of confidence that your effort will be worthwhile, that you won't be humiliated by being judged and found wanting even with your red lipstick on. Oh, Eleanor, I don't know if I should read all this because who are you talking to? This man is not listening to any of this. I know this is for other people, but I think you're using too many. I know, I am one to talk. I am making like a 30-minute video over a little thing. But I'm talking mostly to the ladies. Don't even talk to men like this. They're not ever gonna. Anyway, attraction, blah, 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 but don't accuse of moral insight, blah 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 blah. More of the same, you know. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't know. But let's just put a pin in this. He hates her. He hates her. He hates her. But it's not just him. It's William Van Zandt. He's allowed to not be attracted to her. Blah, 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 blah. Contrary to the prevailing narrative, men are entitled to their own feelings and their reasons for not being attracted. No one, least of all other women, has the right to dictate when and why a man is not allowed to find it. Okay, but y'all grape dead people. Maybe she gained weight knowing it would repel him since she's no longer attracted to him. I actually like that. Maybe it's intentional so that you'll leave her because she knows that you are disgusted by weight. Maybe it was intentional. I love that. I hope so. She's like, maybe, although I would much prefer her just leave him than do that to get him to go. So I don't know if I like that, actually. I take that back. I would much rather her not do that passive way and please just leave him. Anyway, whatever. Kyle Green, I can't believe you said this. Online, with your picture and everything. My ex put on extra weight and another man. Oh, I'm no longer attracted to her. What? Okay. Are you okay, Kyle? She's probably still more attractive than some lazy journalist. You know what, Tony? What are you doing here? Eleanor is not a journalist. Can you Google the word journalist? Eleanor is a columnist, not a journalist. She's not reporting on people. She's not interviewing anyone. This dude wrote into her and she's responding. That's what a columnist is. Y'all are so... The way so many people hate journalists, I understand why there's a lot of especially right now. But I swear to God, this is based on you. Oh, anyway, look at Ray here said. Ray Carlin, depends. If you've got better options, take them. If not, Ray, stick with what you got or nothing. see, Ray, thank you so much. Thank you on a post with hundreds of comments for the whole world to see. You're telling us this is what men think. This is why when we tell y'all men will marry women they can't stand and never leave them. Doesn't matter if you put on weight. Doesn't matter if you do any of the things that they no longer find attractive. They will stay with you. Why? Because this is a labor issue. They want free labor and they want someone they can coerce into forking them. Even though they hate you, they'll still fork you and maybe tell their friends they wish they had a bag over your head. Well, I learned so much from working with men. Why do you think I not only read what they say, with their profile photo and last name. I literally, like this, I already knew a lot of this from working with these men. For some reason, I still don't hate all men, you know? But this is how more of them think than I think a lot of women realize. Buy her gym membership. Funny Mark. Mark would say that. You know what, Mark? I'm going to bet he already has. And he's probably already done all kinds of passive-aggressive things to do. Is that man still breathing after? Ask you such a question. Nor, what are you talking about? Brotherhood. I wish I had not cut off this screenshot. Dennis has solved the problem. Get a new one. Just get a new one. When I tell you that men see women as replaceable, this is what I mean. Get rid of her. Slide another one right in. Doesn't matter what her name is or any of that other stuff. She's got a job to do. This is how men can leave their families and start off over with a whole new woman and not look back and never talk to their kids too. Look at this. Say hi to your neighbor's wife. Mark Maine is literally telling you to cheat with the neighbor. Y'all don't even respect other men. Y'all don't respect us. You don't respect yourselves and you don't even respect your neighbor. That is the worst advice. Cheat with the neighbor? Have you ever heard, don't take a dump in your own backyard? Mark! God! Lewis, you're not, start exercising with her and join Weight Watchers with her. He probably already has. Did you not read? Of course you didn't. Because men so often won't even bother reading things before they respond. This is weird. Very simple. He don't love her anymore, or he don't love anymore. Just leave. Let him get played by a young teenage girl. What? Zan? I can't tell what gender you are. I hope this is a joke, but we always know that men's jokes are usually not jokes. Are you going after teenagers, Zan? Tell her so she can find someone she's attracted to enough to want to lose all that weight for. No, we're not doing this. We're not losing weight for men. We're not changing our bodies for men. This is just as bad. Because, she can't possibly be loved and find love unless she loses weight. Let another man be the motivating factor. No, y'all, stop this. Y'all, seriously, look how mean men are. Joe Sturchill, I don't care how you pronounce it. Mock her as much as possible. Look how many likes that got. This was far down, so it probably would have gotten more if it was the first response. Look at this nonsense, I swear. All men are getting radicalized by, okay, here we go. Easy, role reversal. You make the sandwiches and she does all the manly chores. I don't know how old Kenneth is, but Kenneth has been listening to these dudes. Is that what you think women do? They make sandwiches? I need y'all to understand. You know what? Screw it. You're not worth my time. Look it up yourself, Kenneth. Graham, look at you. Poke yourself in the eye. What does her weight have to do with you anyway? Thank you, Graham. A bear's gonna steal your girl and nobody will feel sorry for you. And that's it right there. Another reason why women would choose a bear. No bear is gonna neg you and make you hate yourself by poking in any of your insecurities or give you new ones. She may not be the least bit insecure about her body, and now she probably is because of this dude. Although it's hard to grow up in patriarchy and not be hate some part of your body, right? If not the entire thing. But ain't no bear gonna do that. Over half the comments were that stuff. That is how men feel. Follow my Patreon, like, comment, share. Thank you for listening. FYI.